looking for another beautiful day here in the
How
city.
about that Spider-Man? Last night on the Manhattan Bridge, he saved a dozen lives. We want to hear your calls.
Heads up, watch out!
I was just wondering, before filming The Amazing Spider-Man, how many comic books do you go through to find the story?
Even before the first one, I went through every single one that I could get my hands on, and all the annuals, and there's actually novels of some of the novelizations of some of the characters, and so there were, in some of them, I mean, there's so much, but there's 50 years of comics, so I don't know if I went through all of them, but occasionally there's an image or a story or a character that impresses you, or just makes an impression, or connects with your subconscious in some way. That's how it began, or a pose even. You know, that would inspire something.
Just really quick, yesterday we saw footage of Spider-Man was in action. He answered the phone. There was Gwen Stacy calling. So where does Spider-Man keep his phone?
Oh,
Yeah.
we talked about that. Can I take this one?
Please.
We talked about there was a compartment in the back of in the back of the belt. There's a little seam there that he can put it back in. If you look at it when he does it, he pulls it out from back there.
Alright. I'm glad you guys gave me the answer because I googled and I couldn't find the answer.
Yeah.
And
Well, now you have the exclusive on where Spider-Man keeps his phone.
So you guys read that you did most of your stunts on the film. Which was the craziest stunt you did?
God, what do you think? I don't really, like, for Spider-Man, what was the craziest stunt?
I think that there was, a lot of stuff in the car chase. I think was particularly
riding on the
difficult.
front of the
riding
truck.
on the front of the truck and hitting the bus. I think that there was. I go back to that moment when you're just sitting over the edge of the building as something that was.
Just walking
weird.
along the edge as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's just like little moments where you're up really, really high where we did that in camera. I think there was some crazy stuff in Times Square that was difficult. Also, there was some sequences at the end of the movie that were physically exhausting, but I'm gonna hold that. I'm gonna conceal that information.
Right.
Because I don't want you to.
Yeah.
Also, we got to see footage of Peter Parker meeting Gwen Stacy, and it was like a very music video moment. I was wondering if you pulled back from your background as a music video director and visualize it.
I love putting music in movies. I associate image and music completely. It's just what I did for so long. And that song was from a band called Phosphorescent. It's a song for Zula is the name of the piece. And we put it in very early on, and we were thinking about scoring that moment, but it just seemed to work with that sense of wonder and awe and thrill, but it had sort of a deeper emotional resonance, I thought.
It's a lovely song, yeah.
So what music video would you use to describe Peter and Gwen's relationship in the movie?
Oh boy, what music video that I've done?
Yeah.
Bad Day by Daniel Powder.
On the subway. And
Wow, I'm impressed.
and he's watching her and all that.
Yeah, exactly. But they're always kind of missing each other, and then but there's moments of connection despite circumstances that overwhelm them.
Ultimately, what do you think motivates Peter Parker to hang on to his Spider-Man suit? Because in the comic books, he's always trying to give, he doesn't want his responsibility because people. Yeah, ultimately.
I think he knows he can't. It can be a prison sometimes. I think because when you do have that kind of power, how do you ignore it, or how do you not use it? How do you let it just kind of like be put on a shelf? You can't. Especially because one of the beautiful parts about Peter, and one of the curses, is that he has this overdeveloped sense of responsibility and sense of compassion for people. And he's so in touch with his own humanity. And he also has a little part of him that doesn't feel like he's enough. And doesn't feel like he's ever doing enough. So that leads him to kind of overworking as a rescue worker, overworking as this superhero. He kind of reminds me of my brother a little bit. He's a doctor, and he would, my whole family, in fact, the Garfield family have this in their genes. They work a little bit too hard, a little bit too hard all the time. And it's, but that can be a gift and a curse, you know what I mean? So I think that's why he can't ever hang the suit up.
In the comic book as well, Spider-Man seeks to join Fantastic Four. He needs the money.
With the Fantastic Four? Yeah.
So I remember reading that you're a fan of Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there will be a Fantastic Four Spider-Man crossover.
I would love that.
I
don't know if
love
that's
I
in the
love the
cards,
idea
but
of
yeah.
seeing Spider-Man team up with anyone, just
Yeah.
to see how that goes. Like to give him someone to play off of.
It's so true. Somebody who is like at his power level in some way or has
Yeah.
some abilities, because he's. I mean, you think of Spider-Man as a loner. At
Yeah.
least that's how we developed him.
Yeah.
And that's kind of his curse. That's
Yeah.
his burden.
Yeah.
But to see how he'd interact with that, I think would be.
And it's fun to think about who he would clash with and who he would gel with in
Yeah.
the Avengers. Like he would not have a good time with Tony Stark.
No, you don't think so? He
I
would
mean-
be so anti-Stark.
I think they would both, because they're both talkers.
Yeah, and they're both smart.
And they both like to be leaders as
Yeah.
well. And
Yeah.
they're both smart.
Yeah.
And I think Peter would judge his ethos and ethics constantly.
Yeah.
And just think he was an arrogant prick.
That'd be so. Wow.
And that'd be interesting. I'm the only one who can stop them. I'm Spider-Man.